Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Bronson was injured as part of a high-risk tsunami from the top of the War Games cage back in November. He has since been sidelined from WWE after undergoing surgery to fix the injury. Reed is expected to be sidelined for up to a year after it was noted that the surgery was much more complicated than first believed, and it seems that he has already become frustrated since he is still unable to walk. Reed recently shared an update on his Instagram, an image of himself on the sofa with his foot still bandaged and raised, showing that he's still in a position where he is unable to use his foot. It is going to be a long road back to the ring for Reed, since he needs to wait until the wound is healed and then learn to put weight back on the limb once again before he can think about rehab for wrestling. He has noted in several of his updates the frustration of being stuck when he can't walk, which means he's no longer able to wrestle, which could be why he's now much more active on social media. The most heartbreaking factor for Reed is the fact that he will now miss WrestleMania 41 after he was pushed so hard over the past few months. Bronson Reed was ready to step up to the next level on Raw in time for the move over to Netflix, but this is a massive setback for him. Much like Charlotte Flair, who was injured back in 2023, he could be on the sidelines for more than a year and then be forced to work his way back up that ladder. Bronson Reed appears to have a long road ahead of him before he can return with unfinished business in mind. In the fast-paced world of professional wrestling, where strength, agility, and resilience are constantly tested, the journey to the top is often marked by setbacks, injuries, and immense challenges. Wrestlers are not just athletes, they are warriors, pushing their bodies to extremes in an effort to entertain, inspire, and leave a lasting legacy in the ring. Few have faced the grueling physical toll of the sport as much as Australian powerhouse Bronson Reed. 2 weeks after undergoing a major surgery, Reed took to social media to share an emotional and heartbreaking injury update with his fans, revealing not only the physical impact of his recovery, but also the mental and emotional struggles he has faced. The rise of Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed, whose real name is Jermaine Haley, has made a name for himself as one of the most promising and powerful wrestlers in the industry. Known for his imposing size, athleticism, and no-nonsense approach to in-ring competition, Reed has been a force to be reckoned with. Whether it was in WWE's developmental territory, NXT, or his subsequent ventures on the main roster, Reed had quickly gained a reputation for being a dominant presence in the ring. His sheer size and strength made him a fan favorite, with many considering him to be the future of professional wrestling. After his time in NXT, Reed made waves on the main roster, showcasing his power in high-profile matches against some of WWE's top talents. However, despite his promising career, the physical demands of professional wrestling began to take their toll. Injuries are an unfortunate reality in the industry, and for Reed, that reality hit hard. In the 2 weeks following his major surgery, Reed's fans were anxiously awaiting updates on his recovery and what this setback meant for his future in wrestling. The injury and surgery. Bronson Reed's injury, which ultimately led to the need for surgery, was a result of the continuous physical stress that comes with performing at the highest level of professional wrestling. While Reed had not publicly disclosed the full details of the injury prior to the surgery, he later revealed in a social media post that he had undergone a significant procedure. From his words, it was clear that the injury was something that had been affecting him for a while, and it was only through the surgery that he could hope to fully recover and return to the ring at the level that fans had come to expect from him. The surgery itself was described as a major one, and it involved extensive work to address the damage caused by years of high-impact wrestling. While Reed was optimistic about the procedure and hopeful for a successful recovery, the emotional toll of the injury became more evident as he shared his update. His fans, who had grown attached to his journey and success, were left in suspense, wondering how long it would take for Reed to return to the squared circle. In his post, Reed expressed his disappointment over the timing of the injury. With so many opportunities in the wrestling world, this setback felt like a cruel blow at a time when Reed was positioned to achieve even greater success. Injuries are never easy to endure, but when they occur during the peak of a wrestler's career, they can be particularly devastating. The timing of his injury, just as he was on the verge of breaking out and cementing his legacy, was one of the most difficult aspects of the situation for Reed to process. Heartbreaking injury update: the emotional toll. 2 weeks after the surgery, Bronson Reed shared a candid and emotional update about his recovery process. The post was not just a physical update, but an honest reflection on the mental and emotional toll that the injury had taken on him. In a series of heartfelt messages, Reed admitted that the past 2 weeks had been some of the most challenging of his life. "I've spent the last 2 weeks reflecting on everything," Reed wrote. "The surgery was tough, and the recovery has been even tougher. I've always prided myself on being able to push through pain, but this time it feels different. There are moments when the pain is overwhelming, both physically and mentally. It's hard to accept that I'm not able to do what I love right now, and I'm struggling with that." Reed went on to explain how difficult it had been to come to terms with the injury and the long road ahead. As a wrestler, his identity had been so closely tied to his in-ring persona. Wrestling was not just a job for Reed, it was his passion, his life, and his reason for getting up every day. To be sidelined by an injury, especially one that required surgery, was a harsh reminder of how fragile that world could be. The emotional aspect of Reed's update resonated deeply with his fans, many of whom had followed his career since its early days. For those who had seen Reed grow from a promising talent to a main roster star, this injury felt like a gut punch. Fans immediately flooded his social media with messages of support, urging him to stay strong and recover at his own pace. Reed's vulnerability in sharing the emotional struggles he was facing only endeared him more to his supporters. However, Reed did not shy away from acknowledging the difficulties of the recovery process. "There are days when I feel like I'll never get back to the ring," he wrote. "There are days when the frustration and doubt creep in. It's easy to lose hope when you're in pain, and the future is uncertain. But I'm not giving up. I owe it to myself, my family, and all the fans who believe in me to fight through this." Reed's message was a reminder of the mental fortitude required to succeed in professional wrestling. While fans often see wrestlers as larger-than-life figures who can perform seemingly impossible feats, the reality is that they too face their own struggles. The injury update was a raw glimpse into the emotional side of professional wrestling, where the mental and emotional burdens can sometimes be just as taxing as the physical ones. The road to recovery. In his update, Reed spoke about his ongoing recovery efforts. Although the surgery was a necessary step, the recovery process was far from simple. Reed acknowledged that the road to recovery would be long and difficult, but he remained committed to putting in the hard work required to return to the ring. "Every day is a challenge," Reed wrote. "It's not just about physical therapy and getting my body back into shape, it's about regaining the mental toughness and the belief that I can get back to where I was. There are days when it feels like it's too much, but I know I'm not alone in this. I have my family, my friends, and my fans cheering me on, and that keeps me going." While the timeline for Reed's return to the ring remained uncertain, he was determined to put in the effort necessary to come back stronger than before. Wrestling fans often see the end result of a wrestler's hard work, but few truly understand the sacrifices and challenges that come with recovery. Reed's willingness to be open about the pain, frustration, and hope that came with his journey only served to humanize him further in the eyes of his supporters. "I'm not going to rush this," Reed concluded. "When I return, I want to be at my best. I want to be the Bronson Reed that everyone knows and loves. I'm going to take it one day at a time and focus on the steps I need to take to get there. Thank you to everyone who has supported me through this. It means more than you know." The future of Bronson Reed. Despite the setback, Reed remains hopeful for the future. His injury may have temporarily derailed his journey, but it has not broken his spirit. The wrestling world is filled with athletes who have faced injuries and come back stronger than ever. Reed's story is still being written, and his future in professional wrestling is far from over. While fans will have to wait for his return to the ring, they can rest assured that Reed will give everything he has to make that comeback. In many ways, this injury update has only enhanced Reed's connection with his fans. By sharing his vulnerability and struggles, he has shown that even the toughest competitors face challenges. It is this resilience and determination that will define Reed's legacy in the wrestling world. Whether it takes months or years, Reed's journey is far from finished. The future remains bright for this powerhouse, and when the time comes for him to return, fans will be there to support him every step of the way as Red continues his recovery. The wrestling world will be eagerly awaiting his return. For now, however, his heartfelt update serves as a reminder of the dedication, strength, and perseverance required to succeed in this brutal and unforgiving sport. Bronson Red may be sidelined for now, but his story is far from over. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.